Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I was asking this question because somebody else was discussing about being in a rut and all that, right? I find a lot of my friends are like that. You know, they kind of feel that they're in a rut. They are not able to really have the same drive and enthusiasm that they had before in their jobs or in their careers or whatever they're pursuing, right? Um, So the question is there fulfillment, forever fulfillment, or it's just a passing phase and then you get over these things after a while and then you get bored and then you turn to different habits. That is seen in the modern culture quite a lot, right? People kind of feel like they're really bored to death and then they don't know what to do. They may go for vacations, they may go lots of things that they do that are really not uh, you know they may spend time, they may do all, but that inward lack of just or penchant in the life, that's missing, right? I think this is my age group, 70s and above of them. They're much more so, much more withdrawn from life, much more bored, and much more really don't know what to do. They may watch TV, and then that way they get uh, numb in their mind sometimes. That is there all the time. So I was comparing our generations and then the ancient generations, what kind of old age they have, what kind of fulfillment they have, that kind of thing. When you look at that way, it's interesting to see what they talked about. So I'm just starting on the other channel. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So the people on the Instagram, I started late, but as they come in, they will see this topic uh, interest them or not. We'll see. Okay. So I have seen in my own life, first to struggle to um, study and to make a living, get the profession going. And in my case, my own practice and later on working in the hospitals, all that brought some money and then we spent it. But then just earning the money itself did not seem a good uh, alternative for me. At least let's say that, whereas other people are really interested in making a lot of money to no end, and but then they also not really happy with just making money, right? That was there, and people went after having experiences, enjoying their life, uh, lots of things they have done to enjoy themselves. They also, if you really go to the core of it, they may not be without their drink or without their drugs or without their gambling, whatever, right? But if you look at the ancients, what they did was, hey, earning some money for our needs, that's okay, but earning too much of it may not be really empowering for me, and then doesn't really satisfy me, forever fulfillment. I may go and enjoy all sorts of things, pleasures, right? Or whatever pleasure. And they also are limited, they do not leave it at forever fulfillment. But what they said was, you can live rightly, you can do, accumulate a lot of things, including money, knowledge, name and fame and all that. But also you can experience things. You can have pleasure from going through certain things. You can see the cinemas, you can read books, you can take vacations, a number of things that we do, right? But all these things don't have the forever fulfillment because it's like a uh, diminishing returns. The more you do it, the less you can get it. That kind of thing. That made a lot of sense to me because I'm seeing it as a fact in our modern life. Not only in my circles of friends and family, and also the colleagues, but also um, in general in life. You take it, people like Robinson, who is a terrific comedian, a big humanitarian. He committed suicide. And that big chef was committing suicide. And also this Tony going around the world, showing us lots of places and telling lots of things about it. That also is the kind of, you know, uh, he committed suicide too. So many people who are successful, who have everything, why are they committing suicide? That was the question. So when you see the modern life, this is more filled with bored people, more filled with uncommitted people, more with no real meaning or purpose in their life, right? Maybe thrown into nursing homes and wither away, or maybe doing something illegal and then getting into jail, something like that, or maybe living with the family, and all the family also goes away, then they feel very left alone and really not that much uh, enjoying their life anymore. Okay, so the question comes, why these are not fulfilling, and why turning inward and finding our real source is really forever fulfilling. And in that question, they have explored a lot. And then they talked about you not being the ego, you not being the mind, you are the thoughts, you not being the body. So all the pleasures, all the things that we accumulate are out, right? But you are that energy within you, that is the essence of human life. That's where your complete fulfillment is there, because once you are there, you are fulfilled with everything. You don't have to go for something else to fulfill yourself. But that cannot be given to anybody. Everybody has to try by themselves. And uh, you can show them the way, but they have to walk to that way. So it's not like a statement just because I said so that is real for them. They have to take a travel. That means they have to calm their mind, and then they can turn inwards and live with themselves for a while without complaining. Look at what's going on, what kind of thoughts, what kind of feelings, what kind of conclusions are going on there. Is there happiness, joy, and peace within? And how can you get into that? You see, that is the uh, crux of the question, because you cannot be giving it with the knowledge. You cannot be giving because you have powers or anything. None of us have that. But it is the way understanding it, and then trying it out in our own life and see whether it is. So the people who are bored with making money, the people who are bored with a lot of pleasures and all that, then they look at it. Look at Buddha. What did he do? He was a prince, and he was born, and the astrologist came and told his father, either he becomes a very big emperor, a very noted emperor, or he will become a seer. He will become one of the wisest people on earth, right? But he will become a sage, and he will leave all this, and the father didn't want that. He wanted his son to continue the family business, run the kingdom, and then do all that, because he only knows those pleasures. So he creates an atmosphere where Siddhartha, that's Buddha's real name, right? He kind of showered with enormous pleasures, everything pleasant, everything, uh, only the good things they showed. They did not show them anybody who is old, they put them away outside the kingdom. Anybody deceased, they put them away in nursing homes outside the kingdom. So anybody with dying, he never wanted anybody dying seen here. So all those three activities they are doing outside the kingdom without seen by the Siddhartha. He never knew what is death, what is old age, what is disease, right? And then he goes on a uh, just a routine trip with his personal assistant, and he gets to see these things. He sees a man with disease suffering. He sees a man with old age and not able to walk. He sees a man dead, carried away by the other people and all. And that kind of makes him feel like all the pressures that I have, all the accumulations that I have as a king, uh, they are not going to answer me this question. And then he wants to find out what is the answer for the suffering in human life, you know. And he goes, and then later on he tells about that. And he says, okay, these things, this getting disease, getting old age, dying, these are all factual things. They are going to happen to everybody. Everybody is born, he's going to develop this infirmness and disease. Maybe if you do yoga and other things, you may be healthy for a longer time, but eventually you have this, you know. That's what they said, you know. When you look at this way, you know, when you really understand the temporariness of all this worldly pleasures, worldly accumulations, and then you want to look for something permanent that he found by himself by going inward and enlightenment, right? That's what the light. Oh, excuse me. Light comes and ignorance is disappear, right? What is the ignorance? That we can react to the external events in a negative way, thinking that we can fix them, but you can manage that reactions better. That is the thing. He said everything is momentary, everything is suffering, everything is not going to be there, and then everything is empty. Once you understand all that, then you won't be, uh, you know, having this thirst for the enjoyment, all that inner reaching out will not be there, because you have identified what is permanent, what is temporary. Okay, all the pleasures, all the experience, everything we do, they are temporary, right? Enjoy them and leave them, but then don't depend on them to give you forever fulfillment. You know? So that's where I think people have to find meaning and purpose. So I really was moved by when I read this. The purpose of human life, according to the ancient people, is to turn inward with our mind and realize who we really are. Okay. Um, I remember Swami Vivekananda, when he first came to United States, he addressed the crowd as Amrutasya Pruta. That means you eternal beings, eternal souls. You know, he did not identify with the name, he did not identify with this role, he did not identify with the societal status, he did not identify with the rich or poor, none of it. He said, all of you have this uh, forever nectar, the nectar that keeps you forever. That is the energy, that is the life force, that they may call soul, that may call conscious being, that they may call energy, that may call as a force, whatever you name it. But essentially, we all have that life force, right? And that's eternal. It may leave this body and all that, but then it creates another body and all that. So once you understand that, and then ended upon that, then this grasping to things, holding on to things, and then losing them and weeping them, that won't be there. That is a forever fulfillment, because you don't need to look for anything outside of yourself. Okay, a lot of people may not feel that, but then as I see the people who are successful in the so-called worldly sense, they have knowledge, they have made money, they have accumulated a lot of things, they have families, they have people and all that. But then there comes a stage at the end of it, they don't have the same trust, the same enjoyment, same thing from their profession, from their family, from any of that. Okay, So thinking these are permanent and clutching them leads you to suffering. Okay, doesn't mean that you break your relation. You do the relations better because you know it is impermanent. So whatever time you have, you do it with quality, but don't be under the delusion that will be permanent. That's all. Okay, so it's not like breaking the relationships or throwing away. No, you just don't allow yourself to be grasped by the uh, delusion that this is going to be permanent. We are like that, right? We think we live forever, and then we think we are going to be uh, enjoying these things forever. Uh, Even if you take a simple movie, you see movies today, afternoon, evening, and then next tomorrow, over the weekend, and you get bored with the movies normally, so, but people get allow themselves to be in that, and then they go get into the uh, treadmill all the time without really going anywhere. So, what do you think? Anybody has any comments on this? You can come up and talk to me about it. So it's kind of a lot of people get into this and explore certain extent, and then they really know, okay, this is the truth. Let me go to then. Your mind and body comes back with their own tendencies, habits, and all that. Then it becomes a problem. Uh, Only when they acquire things and lose them, then they feel like they're lost. Uh, a doctor can be a doctor and go to the field, and the field want to make money on other people's disease, but doctor wants better health for the people. Then there's a conflict, right? And he cannot do what is meaningful for him. So people are leaving the profession. People are committing suicide, on all that. Okay, let me see who's coming. Okay, Mabel. Let's welcome Mabel. Mabel has a perspective on this for sure.
Hi, Dr. Rayo. Good morning.
Hi, Mabel. Good morning again.
Good morning. Yeah, it says your topic. It says it's interesting.
Yeah,
Fulfillment.
yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes, sometimes it's just how do you say it? Fulfillment. How?
I'll give an example. As a doctor, right? For example, take me example, right? As I began to um, come to the profession, I was so enthusiastic. I wanted to really help people, and I found a lot of joy in doing that, right? And then
Mm,
I became a doctor. I became a successful practice. I had my ups and downs. But then generally, I had a very good practice, lot of patients and lot of appreciation. Looking forward to go there and take care of them and all that. But then these bureaucracies came and they made our life miserable, right? So
mm,
I said that's enough. But then I did not stop trying to help people in need of disease or whatever, right? But more people came to me because they can't handle their own jobs. They can't handle
mm,
their life itself. So many challenges, right?
mm,
That is where this inner balance, inner
mm,
equanimity, peace, and happiness really help me to help other people too.
mm,
So, what is the problem there? They lost the same drive and just that they had in the initially because they are looking in the wrong place for that.
mm,
See, they have been doing this exercise, but then they were not able to get off the treadmill.
mm,
So they want to leave it, but at the same time, if they are there, they are miserable. So they came and asked me, how do you enjoy this now? Because the situations have changed. I said, my enjoyment is not out there, it's within me.
mm,
And once I discovered that I'm happy, then I'm able to go and help. See, i'm not
mm,
i'm not looking for my own satisfaction, enjoyment in the out there with some administrators accept me, asking me to make more for them. I said, I
mm,
will do my job. I don't
mm,
necessarily make money for you, that's fine, but as far as science and healing concerned, I'm going to do what is needed for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like that. They want me to make money for them.
Oh. So but then you're not happy for it, right?
No, no, no. I'm not cooperating with them, but I do my own
Yeah.
way because I had my own clinic. I did my
Uh,
own way, and then when it is too tough for okay, I kind of already had so many 45 years of practice, so I just let it go.
mm,
So I had the luxury to do that, but a lot of people may not. They have to stay in the job and do it and resent it,
yeah.
and then lot of problems because of the inequality of the money. Some people have millions of dollars,
Mm,
whereas some people have to do two jobs to make ends meet.
that's true.
That's not
Yeah.
right for me. That's not right because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to participate in that. Yeah, okay, I may have fewer money, fewer, but once I don't want all that, how do they make a difference for me? So what is important is I am content, happy within, peaceful
That's
within. That's it.
there you go.
Yeah,
Contentment,
yeah,
contentment. That's the one.
that's right.
Contentment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'm like that inward. Then I have more fulfillment in my life.
Yeah.
Now, see, you came and you said, Dr. Rao, I was able to sleep better. That made me a lot of happiness. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm not here to get something from you. I'm here to give you and I'll see that is working for you.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the perfect example.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, as a healer, as a doctor, what we are told from the beginning that you have to work for the relief of the suffering of the patient, whatever it is, minus or larger suffering, we have to work for that. See, that is our goal. When the administrators, insurance companies, drug companies are interfering with that, then we are unhappy. But lots of doctors are so unhappy, they are leaving. Like, I think somebody came, I think, was it Susan? Or somebody came and they told me that they live in Arizona, and I think Susan. And then five primary care doctors of hers
Mm-hmm.
left the profession because the doctors are really having the problem, you know. So yeah, it's a question of finding something within is what the message from the ancients. You see what?
Yeah.
But you don't have to change a religion. You don't have to anything. But what
Mm-hmm.
it is you just stop and say what is going on here in my life, why I'm not able to stay with my mind and stay happy, content, and why I'm going after things outside and I'm never finding it there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think one of my example with tell me if it's right. Okay? Tell me if it's in the line this topic because I will give you an example. I remember when I was a teenager.
Huh.
So I forgive my parents.
Yeah.
I forgive them with no without anybody tell me like, hey Mabel, forget your parents.
Yeah.
It's just like it's my willingness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my willingness to forgive them
Mm.
and then to move on my life and
Exactly.
start
Mm.
creating my journey.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
that's
in
what
my
you
way.
did. You turned inward. You found
Uh-huh.
forgiveness, and then you gave it, and you are finished with it, and you are happy. You
Yeah,
see. Otherwise,
yeah,
you are resentful, you are hatred, and all those things are there.
yeah,
That is the inner nature I'm talking about. You are
yeah.
touching your humane nature of yours of
Mhm.
forgiving and let it go.
Yes, that's the one that I did. That
Yeah.
it's very very powerful. Until now, I use it because it is
Yeah.
makes sense and it's just like my medicine. It's
Yeah.
like I'm taking this is why I explained. This is my vitamins that I apply for myself.
Exactly.
Forgiving is my vitamins.
Yeah. One of the examples I read, Maival,
Uh-huh,
one mother's son, he grown up and all that, and then
uh-huh,
one guy killed him for whatever
uh-huh,
reason, right? And then she
uh-huh.
found peace only when she faces that killer and forgave him.
Ah, yeah, because you know what? I remember yesterday I talked to my coworker. She's a pharmacist, and then we're talking about forgiving, and
Mm.
then she said, my point of view and her point of view is different. It is different. It's different way. Like for me, I forgive,
Yeah,
and then I forgive, and of course I will not forget it, but I choose not to think about it, right?
yeah,
Because I already forgive you.
yeah.
So, but then she said like, oh no, she
You
said
know,
this is the thing.
this
This
is
is what she.
one of the secrets of your energy, Mabel. Because
Uh,
if you are harboring, some grudge or some hatred or anger, you won't
uh,
be having the plain heartedness that you have now.
yeah. So, but then this is what she told me when I said that word, and then she said like, oh, I will I will not I will what let me see. She said I will forget you. I will forgive you,
Mm.
but I will not forget. Like okay, so it's just like the way she explained me in the different dimension.
Yeah,
It's just like I will not forgive, but I will keep moving.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
that's what she said. Like, okay, it's like for me, that's how I respect, the opinion that I cannot control
No,
you.
the question
Yeah.
is, are they really moving on? Are they putting down in their mind and then when the time comes, they bring it back?
That's the big question right
Yeah.
now because I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's actually usually what happens is
Uh-huh.
we don't give enough attention and finish things
Mm-hmm.
off.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I'm telling you guys now, finish things as they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking to you, and then
Mm-hmm.
suppose we both, we don't, but suppose we
Mm-hmm.
both have an argument.
Mm-hmm.
That is your opinion, it is my opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
what's the big deal? Why do you have to come my way? I say, okay, that's her fine. I will keep her opinion herself. And
Mm-hmm.
then I finish it there.
Mm-hmm.
If I have ego, then I'll say, she has to listen to me. I'm going to be the authority. I'm going to tell her now.
Mm-hmm.
That is not there, then it's easy for me to let go.
Yeah.
Right? That's a very important thing, Mabel, in life, because it's not how much money we have, how pure our mind and hearts are. And when we are heartful, then we have lot to give and lot to share with people, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It's just like it's very easy. It's just like it's very light,
yeah,
and that's how I feel.
yeah.
I don't have heavy in my in
You
my
know,
in my
that is
body, in my
that word
spirit.
is very important, Mabel. Light. You
Uh,
see, enlightenment
light.
has two meanings. One is to
Yeah.
dispel our ignorance of darkness, that is the light
Uh-huh.
of the knowledge.
Yeah.
Other thing is lightening your mind.
Yes. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. The more
Yeah.
we forget, the more we end with it, the better we feel about ourselves.
That's true, Doctor Rao. You
Yeah.
know what? It's just for me, I do use that, and it's so powerful that I don't know. People say, "Hey, Mabel, why you have like this spirit? Like you know what? I don't know. It's just like it's just normal for
Yeah.
me.
You
It is
know,
normal for
yeah,
me.
actually, you're better off that way because the mind things can make their own highways in the mind.
Oh
Thoughts,
yeah.
thoughts, the same thought you think, oh, this guy is bad, this guy is that,
Uh-huh.
this guy is this. That kind of negative impressions are not going to
Uh-huh.
hurt the other fellow, hurts you because you develop the
Uh-huh.
highways and then they become ingrained thoughts and they come up very quickly when you
Uh-huh.
are really unaware of yourself. So
Yeah.
actually, spiritual experience, they say we have the spiritual heart to begin with, and then
Uh-huh.
out of that, our mind comes up with the thoughts so that it can guide us in your life, right? Where to
Yeah.
go, what to eat, and all. But then
Uh-huh.
we make it as a ego and identify with it.
Yeah.
Forget the heart, that we're forgetting the heart. That's why. the mind dictates, and then that's why all these thoughts, all these feelings, they come, and then we go accordingly.
I remember this word. They say like that's the reason why your brain is higher than your heart.
No, no. Actually, if you look at it in modern sciences, I mean, first impulse comes from the heart.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Mm.
But in other thing, like sometimes if you
No,
don't,
no.
if you
Among the brain also, my well, there is the brain
uh,
stem, there is a limbic system, and the
uh,
prefrontal cortex.
uh,
Prefrontal cortex is above these limbic reactions, emotional reactions, opinions, and all that. They are spontaneously happening according to what we say. But we are supposed to have been elevated beyond that into prefrontal cortex, which
uh,
makes a discussion and tells us what is right, what is not. We don't listen to that.
uh,
We don't listen to that. That is our
yeah,
real higher brain, but we don't listen
yeah,
to that.
yeah. Of course, sometimes we don't listen because
Yeah.
you know that's the reason why sometimes we don't listen. That's the reason why we
Yeah.
choose what the feeling, right? The
Yes.
feeling. But
Yes. Yeah.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
you
You
have to
know,
balance it.
the danger
Sometimes
with the feeling is you can get caught up in that loop
oh
because it comes
yeah
up, right? I feel like he hurt me, he made me feel like that. That comes
uh,
up, and then we
uh,
succumb to that.
yeah, that's right. That's right. It is.
Yeah. But if you made them feel good, that also they can hold on.
Yeah.
But how long you want to pretend? Suppose if they really made something that really angered you, if you tell that, they get more hurt because you are on their corner thus far, and now you are not there.
Yeah.
That's why couples fight, other friends fight, and all because they want you to be like that all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
you cannot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So fulfillment comes from looking inward and finding that place where we have the pure heart.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm just listening here. I
Yeah.
just want to learn more and, it's just
Sure. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm bringing in what are called Purusharthas in ancient
Okay.
wisdom. There are four things they talked about: um,
Okay.
dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Sanskrit words. Dharma is whatever you do it in a right way. That is a challenge for a
Okay.
lot of people because they cut short. They take short cuts, right? And they don't go straight. They don't be honest. They won't be non-violent, loving, and all that. They do whatever this advantage for them because the ego makes them feel like self-centered and then do things just for me. That's why they said whatever you do it for the good of everybody. Dharma means doing good for the common good of everybody. And then if you are adding something, or if you are accumulating knowledge and all that, make sure that is used for everybody too. That's then it becomes meaningful, right? And then they said, okay, if you have some pleasures, karma is that pleasures and simple innocent pleasures, go ahead and do it, but then do it in a right way too. So these are the three ways, and the fourth one is the one they talked about. Solution is transcending your own mind. That is moksha, they call it. But how do you transcend mind is just identifying that energy is you and not your mind and body. Once you have that, then you can use your mind properly, you can use your body properly, you can have decent living, you can have decent innocent pleasures and all that, but you are fulfilled with your forever fulfillment of joy, peace, and happiness. That is something to be experienced, not to be taken literally just because somebody said it. So I'm not expecting people to listen to me and do that. No, go and examine it. Go and see whether it is like Maival was saying that she forgave and then she is not angry and then she let it go. And thereby, those things are not corrupting her. She is being her natural, loving heart, and then that is coming through, right? So even Nelson Mandela is an example. He was confined for the most of his life.
He was put in jail when he was 28 or something. And then late in the life, when he was a very old man, they let him go out of prison, right? And then he becomes the president. And I told this story several times, so forgive me for those people who have already heard it, but just for the topic's sake, I'm talking about it now. So one day he was invited for a luncheon somewhere. So he goes and sits at the dining table, and he looking around. He sees one guard all the way in the distance. So he calls his assistants and tells them, "Go and get that man here." So they go and tell this man, President wants you to come to him. And then this man shivers. He's so scared, all that. And these people thought, why he's asking him for to come and talk to him, but then he's so scared. But the man comes, and then Nasser offers him a seat and asks him to serve the food. And the man is eating, but he's shaking all the time. And then finally he finishes up the meal, and then he rushes away. Then the other people ask Nelson Mandela, what happened? Why is he so scared of you? Then he says, this man was a guard when I was in prison. And he used to abuse me. And one time he even put my food in front of me and went back and urinated on me. But I did not allow my anger, my everything to overwhelm me. I kind of forgave him, and I want to show the gesture. That's why I called him for the lunch. So people are, because of that attitude, millions of lives were saved in South Africa. Otherwise, there would have been a bloodbath between the majority blacks and the minority whites. They would not have gone anywhere. See, that's the importance of having this inward look and really resolving our own problems of revenge, anger, hatred, and all that. Okay, this is by no means supporting the people who have done Jesus to you. No, you can rise up in protest of that injustice, but not with violence. And also, what is happening to you while you are doing that violent act and all that. That's also you have to look at. Modern tendency is to really we have to kill him for what he killed us, and then it is never going to stop. Look at the wars, forever wars going on all the time. Why? Right? I hope that makes sense for you, what I'm talking about. But basically, it's not like a judgment. Somebody wants only make money and then wants to be really satisfied making a lot of money. He never has an end to that, right? The more money he wants to make, the more money he wants to accumulate. Look at what's happening. Even if you take the society, American society, very few people control the money. Top 1% has 90% of the wealth. Rest of the 99% have the other 10%. How? That's why there is no equanimity, and that's why many people have to struggle with two jobs, right? But you take some of the rich people, what they do, they earn a lot, they keep a lot for them, but then they give at least small amount to the foundations, and that's where it all comes into. So understanding this inequality, understanding why so much money for so few people, that's why they are looking in the wrong corner for the fulfillment. And they do come, people who are working on this burnout, stress, and all that. They do come, and then they may appear outwardly to the society that they have a lot of things, they are happy and all that. It's not so. They are empty. They are find life is meaningless and really purposeless, and also they are scared that they may lose the advantage, the so-called advantage that they have. But if you really confront them, what they say is, I'm very unhappy. Rockefeller, this happened to him. Rockefeller made a lot of money, but also he was a workaholic, probably is demanding everything from people, right? So the resistance happened. The same thing is happening even now. The managers, the middlemen, all those people who demand uh, like a lot of work in China or here, they are killing people. The young people cannot, the lower cadre and all, they cannot work. They're committing suicides and all that, right? So that's the same thing happened to Rockefeller. He bred a lot of resistance against him because of his behavior. So he was unhappy that he's not loved, he's not admired. He has a lot of money made, and then he has this pride about himself. He's very egotistical, right? And he comes to Vivekananda. He was visiting United States at the time, and he has a house where he was situated. He has an inner room that he was staying there and then meditating and all. And he has a in the outside the room. He has a usher that gets people in and all that. Right? The normal courtesy. And but then Rockefeller comes and brushes at this guy and barges into the Vivekananda's room, and he sits in front of him and says, "I made all this money, but I'm kind of not really loved and liked and admired. That's why I feel unhappy about it." Then he said, "So if you have made so much money, give some of it away. Say, how does it feel?" So Rockefeller goes away and then goes to his people and starts to give some of his money, not all of it, some of it. And then he asks for a receipt that he gave them that money. Okay, so he still wants recognition. He is still egotistical in giving. So he collects the letter and then he accumulates all the letters, maybe a few of them, 50 of them. I don't know what the number is, but he collects them and then he comes back to visit Vivekananda. He comes and says, he throws the receipt on the face of Vivekananda and says, "Look, are you happy?" You know, then Vivekananda says, "Why should I be happy?" I said, "I gave the money, and you thank me, I gave the money." Vivekananda says, "You should thank me because you were unhappy with all that money. Now, how do you feel when you gave it?" And Rockefeller realizes that he felt good when he was giving the money. Right? And then Rockefeller Foundation is formed. That I don't know other foundations, but that was the story about that foundation. And now, so many foundations are supporting public channel, supporting wildlife, supporting all the plantation. So many things are happening because of these foundations. Right? There's a beautiful institutions in America that keep this country going, even the politics are waxing and waning. So I'm very fascinated about the universities here, about the foundations we have here, and about the general think tanks that people attend and then learn and also contribute. Okay, so if you look at American life like that, there's a wonderful wave going on about the knowledge, about spreading knowledge, about lifting the human lot. Hi, Mabel.
Hi, Dr. Rosa. I remember. I just want to share my one thing for fulfillment.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So the reason why I create my foundation in the Philippines because there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I do love creating things that with story about it.
Yeah.
So I create my foundation in the Philippines. It's all about kids.
Yeah.
That's the name of my foundation. The reason why
what was that name? Repeat that name again.
All about kids.
All
foundation.
about kids. Okay.
So the reason why I make this foundation, I remember when I was a kid, especially Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas time. Christmas time in the Philippines is celebrated in a different way. But then I was a kid that we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money. So I remember sometimes I cannot attend the party because we don't have money. We don't have any. My grandma. We don't. We end up we don't have money.
Yeah.
So
you are kind of left out. Left out of
yeah.
Yeah.
So I end up not attending.
Mm.
And then sometimes my grandma said, "Oh, you can attend the party. I will buy you something like you put it in the box." Way back then, they have a box and then you put candies on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Gifts.
sometimes I attend, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I remember one day, and during that Christmas,
Yeah.
I don't attend because I don't have money.
Yeah.
And then one day I said like, oh, when I grow up, I want to create a foundation
Yeah.
dealing with this. So now that I have something to share,
Yeah.
I started this foundation 7 years ago.
Mm.
So every Christmas, I will donate in my own pocket.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much.
Yeah.
But I will say I have a volunteer and coordinator in the Philippines.
Yeah.
We will plan like, okay, let's visit, especially in the mountain area, Dr. Rao, because I feel that area, they need to feel Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said like, okay, every Christmas we will visit this school, and then all the kids, it doesn't matter if they have a new clothes, no clothes or whatever, they have to attend this Christmas. And also if there's anybody in that area, like in that area that who, even if it's not a student, we have to have a lot of food to give each one of them, whoever in that area, because I want them to feel that they are part of the party. They are part of the spirit of Christmas in a simple way. So what will I do is I will do the food, the bags, the candy, the chocolates, and then I will create games and it. The one that I don't feel it when I was a kid because I don't have money. I cannot attend, right?
Yeah.
So now that party is, the kids don't need to have money to go to that party because I'm the one who will give food, candies, games, and have the
It's like sharing from your heart. That's very.
Yes.
Hey, maybe what you should do? You should share the details of contributing to me, and I will do whatever I can. Okay.
So you know what, Dr. Rao, it's so powerful that sometimes I don't expect anything, and my sister-in-law, they will say, hey Mabel, I know it's December, I know you have a project in the Philippines, and then they just like all of a sudden send me money, like, oh, instead of preparing for 50 kids, it's getting and
That's good.
You know what?
Good.
One time, I remember during COVID, and then I don't expect that I can reach 1,000 kids that I can give a party.
That's good. That's good. Actually, that's where the pleasure of giving comes in, and then if you really do it without expecting anything in return, it becomes your really important thing, right? I'm proud of you, Mabel. Really good.
Thank you, Dr. Rao, because that's the one that actually helped me to heal.
Yeah.
That's my medicine. I don't spend money for the doctors to visit, to go to the doctor, because I am sick, right? I am sick. I'm just like very depressed. I'm sick, and then instead of going to the doctor, I create my own medicine, and then let's have a project here.
Our people here in the Noom Vibe, they did that drive for helping a lot of charities. Did you give a charity also? They can also give it to them,
Yeah, that's why when I first signed in here, and then when I checked I checked what is known by a thing, and then when I see, oh, there's a foundation that I can share my points, I love it, because this is the one that for being active listener, for being active and everything, and then they give me points. Well, I can share my points. I can share this one, and also I'm learning.
Yeah.
Every time I jump in, every time I listen
You say
to
this is the clue for the fulfillment. Fulfillment doesn't come by us accumulating. Fulfillment, at least share what we can. or
Yes.
not accumulate at the cost of other people. Be
Yeah.
equanimous in your. If you are like that, many people, 25% of the world, have only
Uh,
one meal a day.
yeah, that's right. That's the one that,
Yeah,
oh my God, it's just like, and we are so lucky and
yeah,
fortunate here that, we are very, very lucky.
yeah,
And if you think about it, some people like, oh, it's not my fault that they are only eat one time. But you know what? It, it's just like some people they will say that. Like for me, I don't say that because I feel like I was there.
uh,
I was there. Sometimes I don't have breakfast to go to school. Even if I'm smart, if I'm hungry, I cannot focus.
mm,
That's why it's a big deal. Like, oh my God, like me, especially my son right now, I have a son. I
mm,
don't allow my son to go to school without any food in his stomach
yeah,
because I know the feeling that even if you're the smartest one, that once you don't have food in your stomach, wow, you're just like, I cannot focus. My stomach is
yeah,
rumbling right now.
yeah. But you know what? The foundation formation is something really good, because a lot of people don't feel responsible for the society in the beginning. They go on making
Mm-hmm,
money, and then
mm-hmm,
they want to give it away. Look at Buffett, for example.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and he still lives in the same house. He drives
Yeah.
his car himself. He doesn't have any entourage, and all the money he made, maybe $1 million, and other he gave it to his son and
Uh-huh.
all that, but otherwise gave it away for other people. And that too also,
Yeah.
he gave it to Gates Foundation, not even his own
Yes.
foundation. So that is a good trait I saw in the ancient system also.
Mm-hmm,
Beautiful temples that they created, but they did
mm-hmm,
not take credit for it. See,
yeah.
modern temples, if you go there, there's a list of
They have
donors.
a name, right? They have
Yeah,
a name.
yeah, it's so stupid, but the ancients, they did not care for it. They kind of,
Yeah.
what they said. Somebody was doing a sculpting work on the steps of the temple. Then
Uh-huh.
that guy came and he asked one person. He said, "Oh, I am kind of structures. I'm building the steps and all that." But the other
Mm-hmm.
guy said, "I am building a temple."
Mm-hmm.
So it could be part of that is the steps, but then he has the mind of building the temple
Mm-hmm.
for the divine and so see the reverend that like that we should make our life as a temple.
Mm-hmm.
Then it has so much meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Our body is the
It is.
temple of our soul. That has
Yeah.
got a lot of meaning. That kind of things. If you understand and then give from the heart, you are already
Yeah.
rich. It doesn't have to have a lot of money. Whatever is a gesture, is the feeling.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
It doesn't matter how big or small. It's
yeah.
just like it's from your heart, and then it's the person who received that. It's very it's very
See,
happy.
people
It,
lost this impulse of sympathy,
uh-huh.
kindness, and really understanding the needs of others, and then putting the needs over ours. That's why I teach a course called servant leadership, where the leaders want to work for the needs of the employees, customers, and all that. When they can do that, when they are really completely fulfilled within themselves, then they don't have any selfish desires, right? So that's a beautiful way to be, you know. So that happens, Mabel, because many people who have that impulse of kindness and really love and affection for people, they will be able
Mm-hmm.
to do that very, like you can do everything for your son because you have love and
Mm-hmm.
affection for him. Why don't
That's
we
true.
have, yeah, why don't we have the same thing other people? That's the question.
Yeah, that's true because I remember
Yeah,
when I have that foundation, because I didn't know that I will have a son. So
yeah,
that's my first baby. I called him a baby.
mm,
That foundation, the
yeah,
All About Kids Foundation is it's my baby
yeah,
because I said like even if I don't have a son,
yeah,
I don't know if I will have a kids, but guess what? I have a lot of kids. Like
yeah,
I see a lot of kids.
yeah,
It's
That's good. That's what it is. A mother's heart has place for everybody. My own mom, well, I told several times, she is a very heartful person, and
Mhm.
that is the quality I kind of took it, and I want to
Yes.
see that because she was not a assessing person. She was not judging you. See, I
Mhm.
was. I didn't want to go to school up until fifth grade. See, I
Mhm.
used to excuse like my tummy hurts or whatever. But I remember my mom never said anything. She said, okay, fine. Let me. And then when I became almost 9.5 or so, my brothers, other people said, what is this guy still not getting school? What is he going to do? Then there was 1 month, and my brother trained. I didn't even know how to write alphabets, right? So he kind of asked me, do you want to take an entrance test into high school? Then I learned alphabet. I learned all the lessons in 1 month, and nobody gave me a chance that I will pass. Right? So he put me through the exam. I went in there, and then I made some mistakes in exam when I came and told him, and he was very angry with me, my brother. So he gave up. This guy is not going to make it. And then I went to a movie that day when the results are going to come with my grandpa. We both are very close friends. So that he's 96, I was like a 9-year-old, right? We both went to this movie called Satya Harishchandra. That means this man always spoke truth even in his difficult times. He's like an icon, right? Everybody knows truth means Harishchandra. That's what it is, right? And I came home. It was a matinee show, afternoon show, and then I came in the evening, and they gave me the news that I got selected.
Oh wow.
I remember the joy that day because everybody thought I'm sure to fail because this guy doesn't even know alphabet. How can he read? How can he write? Now I did all that. And then from then onwards, Mabel, I did not look back. I was the topper.
Wow. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes people they will give you name, they
yeah.
will stamp you and they don't
You know,
even
but
they
what,
don't
what
even
what is
think.
strange, I did not mind there are belittling me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah,
You don't care. You
yeah.
don't mind what they're doing because you believe in yourself.
Yeah, because you know why I did not care? Because my
Mhm.
mom accepted what I am completely.
That's the one. That's the one. I remember my grandma.
Yeah,
My grandma is so funny because every time I bring my report card to my grandma, and
yeah,
guess what? My grandma, she will flip over. She will not see my grade. She
yeah,
will flip over to my character, and then she will read one time. I think when I was in first grade, my teacher put on the character that I'm the most talkative. Like,
yeah.
oh my god. Oh my God, what happened here? Like, oh Lola, my classmate, you keep talking, and then I'm just like, I'm sociable, so that's why.
Yeah. It's a question of how the mom raises you, if she judges you, if they
Yeah,
scolds your so-called discipline. I don't really think that's effective as much
yeah,
as a heartful nurturing. That is very.
yes, yeah.
I never have psychological inadequacy because I was given so much love by my mom.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah, that's
In my
right.
entire life, she never hit me one time.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, me either. I don't.
Yeah,
When I was a kid, I don't have any. I don't feel that hit or beat or something. No, that
yeah.
no. It's just like nothing. That's why now that I have a child, I don't want to do that because I don't feel it. I don't.
Exactly, exactly. You should be loving and kind and considerate, and you can show them proper ways, but not really taking physical abuse or mental abuse. Even word also, I never had a derogatory word by my mom, even when I was in the wrong. So she told me that that may not be right and all that. But then never really enforced anything forcibly. But you know what? That kind of heartfelt love makes you to be responsible, to be contributing to society, not really taking from the society. I remember I was very young, but when the house needed organization, I took over the all the finances by myself, even though two other people above me, they are not interested. I took over the finances and got my. We have a palace-like big house, and we got it renovated. And suddenly our income went from 450 to 1350, just like that, so our whole thing transformed from there, and I was began to work as a doctor and all that, but the important thing was, uh, you are raised with love without allowing you to go in your own mind to these huts, or caring for other people's opinion. They were not there. They made fun of me and they said, how is this guy going to live or whatever, but didn't touch me, because I was so completely secure psychologically from the child to teenager by my mom. And she came here. She came to United States and stayed here, and she passed away here. Actually, she was with my sister in Tennessee at the time. So within a few months, uh, she stayed here for the first few years, and then last few years she was there with my sister, because my sister wanted to take care of her and all. We used to go and visit her and come back, but she was uh, so inviting other people. She made so many people, 150 people came for her funeral. And she is just a stranger to that. Maybe 6 months she was there or something. But all those people, they said every time she saw them, she greeted them with a big smile and a big hug. All these people are flat because of that. So that is the power of heartfulness. That is one thing I kind of remember for my mom's sake. She kind of lived it. So we have to teach that to our kids too. you know so anybody else wants to say anything, you can come up and tell me before I close the room. Okay, I see Coach Evan there, Janet there, and so many people that I know. Cecile there. Elizabeth. Yeah. So it's a question of fulfillment is not out there. Even though temporarily it may be there, but it won't last. That everybody's experience. It's not my statement. If you really ask anybody who is really rich, he's afraid he may lose that. In that way, he doesn't have peace of mind, right? And then he has to do so much work to preserve it. And then he's not happy, his children is not spending properly. So many complications come from that, right? Not that you don't have to have any money. You should have what is minimal thing, right? But then beyond that, accumulation is kind of it's called aparigraha. That is, accumulation of things is itself is a problem. So in the yoga has 8 steps, right? First 2 steps are about how you should be. First step is how you should be with the society. In that there are 5 things they talk about. One of the 5 things is this aparigraha, non-accumulation of things. Then you are really doing the service to the society just by not accumulating things, right? So there's a virtue in that. That means your outwards life is simple and easy to lead, whereas your inner life is very rich, right? Okay, Mabel was talking about her interior. See how rich her inner life is. So that's what comes out. But if you allow that to increase your ego, then you lost it. But if you say, no, that's not important, I can be egoless state within and then be relating to everybody, that will be wonderful. So fulfillment, the ancient thing is dharmartha, kama, moksha. Dharma is righteous way of living and doing anything that you do for the common good of everything living, right? That's why you have to think about doing something that, like my wellness movement, what I'm talking about is not just individual people get well, that's fine, we do that. But also, why is this illness concentrated so much and then neglecting simple things that we could do so that we don't have to be ill that much or so often or remain ill all the time? That's the chronic disease, basically remaining ill and allowing the complication and sucker like a life out of us. Okay, that's what I see when go to the nursing homes. If I have to see the patient, they cannot move, they cannot do anything, they don't have anybody coming and seeing them, and they have some mechanical life, and they don't have anything fun and meaning in their life. So we try to improve that, but still they will go to that stage. So we can do better as Susan. We can be well by doing simple things, common sense. One of the things that we don't do better is how we manage our mind. We throw stuff at people, asking them go and earn a lot of money, then you'll be happy. Or go and live your life, live it up, right? Drink, make merry, and all that, and you'll be happy. Those are pretty much proven by individual experiences that not so. So, what you want to say is, then where is that fulfillment? In our heart, interior. Look at that, and then take away dirt from there, take away all the unnecessary things, and then come out with a full heart. Then life itself is fulfilling, right? At least for me, that is the case. Okay, so. Uh, so it's a kind of really understanding that. Okay, Janet sent me a message. Let me. She is in the car traveling. That's fine, Janet. Um, my fulfillment comes from my family and what I make with my hands from my heart. That's good. See, at least she is looking for her family. That means she is being egotistical, not, but egoless, and also trying to contribute something other than her. So she is contributing to the family, and also she is creating crafts with her hands. That's beautiful, right? So I agree with you, Janet. That is the starting point. Whichever we are, we can start with small things and then go from there, right? So, uh, okay. So this is ancient Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Mokshas. Moksha is the liberation from this self-centered, egotistical, always thinking mind. When you understand this, transcend the mind doesn't mean that you don't use the mind. On the other hand, you use the mind in a very constructive way, very beautiful way, right? So without the mind, you cannot function, right? But how you allow the mind to go towards the egotism or non-egotism to the dharma, the cow emotions. Okay, I get a lot from this purusharthas lifestyles, but you take it what you think is good or not. Okay, I will talk to you again, and thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again later. Bye. Dharane,